Well, folks, welcome to the Gritty Podcast. We are coming at you from the mountains. And we're elk hunting. This is podcast number 2 from this elk hunt. We're kind of doing a nightly podcast. We've been out here in the mountains about 7 days, I think, and getting a feel for it. Today was a rather slow day. We've kicked out some deer beds on this mountainside, and we moved locations, just trying to find elk. We've been into a ton of them. They've been thick, but got Brad Hunt here and my cousin, Trevor Call. He's been filming and photographing and helping carry loads. But the cool thing is we have now discovered at least 4 real good bulls in the basin to the other side of us. We have our camp, I think, pretty high. Our wind should blow downhill all night into the basin where the elk are not. And tomorrow we should have a great day of hunting, as long as something weird doesn't happen. Like some dude hikes in here from miles out and actually blows up our canyon, which could happen, but probably won't. I think we got this hunt to ourselves. And there's a couple studs in there, Brad.
One that is just, you can tell he's much bigger than the other 3, but the other 3 are just fantastic bulls. They all have, great tops, they have great mass, they have great length, so definitely 4 bulls that we came here to really look for. So we have some other smaller 6s, and we have hopefully a lot of opportunity tomorrow.
Yeah. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, we are going to turn the video off now because we're trying to conserve battery for the cameras for filming the hunts. So we're going to go audio from here on out on this episode. Brad, it's about mid-September right now. You've been in this place a couple of times before. My question is, what is this? What are the dates right now like? Is this typical what you're seeing?
Yeah, so I've been in here a couple times, made the trip with my dad years ago, and every time I guess most any open country I've been around,
yeah,
is I've really noticed that the rut usually doesn't really kick off until after the 15th, 16th of September. I've even seen, when we've been deer hunting, I've seen more rutting action in October than I have any other time of the year. Like hard rutting.
What do you mean by that? Because we're seeing herded up, lots of herded up elk.
Yep.
Those bulls are screaming at each other.
Even like the 2 bulls we saw down on the ridge, I mean, they're a couple hundred yards apart from each other.
Yeah.
But they're not worried about each other. They'll bugle back.
They're not trying to kill each other.
But they're not trying to kill each other yet.
And you're saying they're gonna get
when that rut
violent.
gets hard, I mean, those bulls will fight. They will push each other. They don't want each other on the same hillside. And when the rut really heats up, like, it's enjoyable to watch.
I've seen some glunking bulls, and I've seen them making some noise, and I've seen some flirtations from cows, but I have not yet seen a single bull mount a cow.
Nope.
Or chaser in circles all over. Like, there's nothing like that yet.
No, they'll get up, they'll push their cows out of bed, they'll sniff here and there, but yeah, nothing like a real hot in heat cow.
We're here in these elk. They're all around us. It's been pretty cool just each night. As far as gear goes, we brought our Seek Outside Cimarron teepee, and we used it up on one of these tops because it was just ripping wind. But for the most part, we've been able to sleep under the stars.
Yep.
And it's been nice because we're in some real unconventional. There's no place to pitch a teepee on a bunch of these slopes we've been on. Especially that last one we moved from. That one was like straight up rock face.
Yeah. And, you had to build your bed up so you could stay on there.
We had to kick out some serious shelves for some beds. I'd have to say that I am the best excavator, construction builder of a bed. You take a good second place, Brad, and Trevor is a distant third.
Oh.
Distant.
Here's what I figure is like, I'm, we're tired climbing up the hill, but you have to knock out a really good one because you're just old. So like, you have to make sure you're comfortable to keep up with us young bucks.
I learned over time that, especially Ryan and I both, we take pride in how level our sleeping spot is. Like, we might take an hour to kick out a spot and make it like legit flat or build up a wall. Like, there's something about having a perfect sleeping, like, don't get me wrong, I don't need a big space. I can make it work, but I need one that fits my air pad.
Yeah, and last night's I made it narrow because I wasn't digging any more rock out, so it was not bad though. It was level and fit my pad, but it was tight. Like I touched shoulder to shoulder from the hillside to the end of the bench, so yeah, it was tight.
Well, you and Trevor have managed to get holes in your mattresses.
Yep.
I think that's because poor construction.
Probably. But now mine, it's good because I can reposition. I can get a drink of water about every 2.5, 3 hours. It's not flat, but I can start to feel the ground.
Yeah.
So it's good. I can get up, check for bulls where they're bugling. That's my excuse.
This morning we woke up and there was 3 elk just 60 yards above us.
Yeah.
And then they walked to 20 yards
of
us while we were laying in our sleeping
bags. About the time I
bags.
went to grab the camera, because I could hear her stomping. About the time I went to grab the camera, she popped right up over and was gone just as fast as she came in.
There's no shortage of elk. We're finding elk, but this country, it'll take, from where we were this morning to where we are now, it'll take hours to traverse it. Especially if you have to climb a ridge or something. I mean, it's nothing, you can't get anywhere fast. Like, we spotted 4 good bulls over in this hill, but it'd take most of the day to get over there. So it's one of those things where there are, on this hunt, there's some slow days because it takes time to get from one location to the next.
Right. It's just big country, and I mean, there's a lot of other places in the U.S. too that are like that, but it's just the canyons are so deep and steep, and just to keep the wind right, to keep from being seen. I mean, you have to go the extra mile to.
I got to tell you, I haven't blown a single elk call yet on this hunt.
Well, other than my on purpose call,
Right.
We haven't, and most open country that I have hunted, it's been that way.
Yeah.
I mean, when they get fired up and you got a bull or something on the other side, you can set up, and I've had it work. You call bulls in and stuff, but for the most part, like midday, I mean, that 10 to 11 to like 3, 4 o'clock is like prime time to kill a bull. I mean, they're bedded, especially when they're not rutting hard, like, here it's shortly they will be. But.
I love this. I freaking love this open country. It's different. It's hotter than heck. There's not a single tree. Not one. There's no place to get shade up high. And we pretty much, the bulk of the day, except for the last hour of daylight and the first 2 hours of daylight, I would say, hour and a half, 2 hours, the wind is blowing hard downhill in those 2 pockets of time.
Yep.
Like at first light and last light. But the rest of the day on these steep mountains and these steep terrain, you got the whole middle of the day where the wind is blowing hard uphill.
Yep. And when I'm elk hunting, mule deer hunting, any type of archery hunt, I absolutely love wind.
Yeah.
Like, guys, it's windy outside. I love the wind because it masks so much sound, especially in this really dry, crunchy terrain. I mean, it's the grass, and there hasn't been water up here in a long time. Yeah. And it is crunchy. And that wind just really masks your sound. And I think a little bit too is like when you get the brush whipping back and forth, it also helps you stalking in too, because that brush is moving in front of you as you're moving too.
Right. But we haven't got any rain
No.
or any moisture whatsoever.
And there's not any in the forecast. I mean, when I looked today, I think in 4 or 5 days, there's supposed to be some cloud cover, but the temperatures aren't supposed to drop. Like the highs are supposed to be in like the mid 60s to high 60s.
There's a lot of country that we have covered, and pretty much if there's not water in that area, there's no elk.
Right.
They really are staying fairly close to water sources.
Yep. And we've talked about it multiple times and stuff. I mean, elk go to water every day, and so when you can find a water source and if you can find a wallow and set up on it, great. Eventually you're going to kill a bull off of it.
Yeah.
It's just if you can keep the wind right.
I think the biggest bull we have seen on this trip is that 330, 340 bull we saw tonight.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that age size.
Great bull.
Yeah. And the other one's a close second.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
They both have pretty long main beams. The bigger bull, you can just tell.
It's the mass.
He's heavier, quite a bit heavier, and he carries it all the way up.
Yeah.
Versus that other bull, not quite as much up on his tops.
Yeah, I wish we could have made a play on him today, but it just felt like the right thing to do to just kind of watch and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is these evening hunts, you can try to quickly run and get in. They get up to feed as the sun goes down.
Yeah.
But you're really uptight against the wind switching, because about an hour before, I'd say about 2 hours before dark, they get up and they start walking around.
Yep.
And then you got 1 hour as they move from their bedding to the next spot. And then the wind switches and you're just out in the wind.
Yep. You can try and predict where they're going to move, but it doesn't always seem, when they start moving one direction, they may not continue that direction.
Right.
They drop.
Which is what happened tonight. They were going one way and they stopped and went a totally different way. And you can spend a lot of calories just chasing and not being very effective. But so far what I have seen is in the mornings, it's been great. You kind of just watch them.
Yeah.
They go and they tuck in, the sun comes up and they're just like, they've messed around all night because it's nice and cool. They've rutted, they've messed around, they've done their thing.
Yep.
The deck gets shuffled every night. Like different bulls are with different elk. Like everybody's pushing everybody around. It changes quick.
Yep.
Next morning, you might be in one basin, it's covered in elk that night. You wake up, it's empty.
Yep.
Or it's full. You don't know. But one thing, it seems the most effective stalks we've had, or moments to kill, have been after we watch them bed, and you pick a situation where a bedded bull and a herd looks like you could exploit.
Right.
Like the bull is maybe on the top side and all his cows are beneath him, so he's the closest target. If he's on the other side of 40 cows, good luck trying to get to him, right? So there's been a lot of us kind of looking at that. What I'm excited about for tomorrow is you got 4 giants in this basin, plus probably 3 other bulls we'd probably take if they gave us a chance.
Yep, exactly.
And the way I'm looking at it, with the way that they're, one of them probably out of the group is gonna bed in a spot where he's
position.
Pretty stockable.
Yeah. And another thing too is, like last night was I think the real last night of any moon, and so they're gonna be out feeding a little longer in the mornings. And then just like tonight, we noticed they got up a little earlier than they have been.
I think tomorrow we're gonna go in our stockisons. We'll throw on our top lids from our packs, turn them into backpacks or satchels, just fill them with about 2-3 liters of water.
Yep.
Bring some day food, knives and skinning kit, game bags, and then we're gonna light out and just ghost ninja walk through these hills, and we're gonna just sneak all day.
Once the wind changes in the morning, I mean, we should be able to get our eyes on them, figure out what they're gonna do, and then.
Dude, it's a fun hunt.
Yeah.
It really is a fun
That's one
hunt.
thing I love about open country is, I mean, you just get to see elk, lots of elk,
Yeah.
you know, and you can hear for miles. So, like tonight, they started firing up pretty good almost all afternoon. And so,
Well, and these elk, they're so hot. It's so hot in the afternoon. There's no way they're going to move around.
right.
They can't stand. It's too hot.
Yep.
At least the last few days. They just got to lay down.
Right.
And they don't even want to move. They have that heat just sucks their energy right out of them.
Yep.
So we have long hours, 5, 6 hours to move in where they're not likely to even budge a muscle.
Yeah, and I think as the temperatures get cooler, it's gonna be tougher to get them in those situations.
I agree.
Because they're gonna be up moving.
Well, they're going to be just fighting and pushing and shoving.
Yep.
No, tomorrow, the next couple of days could be real good.
Yep.
And then our strategy's going to have to shift.
Right.
As they start pushing and rutting harder. And in that case, like you've done many times, you can just move in while their herd's just so distracted.
Yep.
And bulls are clashing. And it's hard to get a shot, though, when they're that amped. Because the bulls do not stand still.
They don't stop hardly ever. And it's when they do, I mean, you usually have cows or other bulls in between you and you just can't get a shot. So, yeah, I think things are going to start heating up as far as the rut goes.
Yeah.
We are going to get some cooler temperatures and they're, they, like I said, all afternoon they've been screaming.
Yeah.
And those two big bulls laying in their beds and back and forth lazily to each other. But they'll get pissed off here in a little bit.
We should have a good wind. So hopefully they bed in a vulnerable spot tomorrow. I'd love to go for that giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
any of them are giant, really.
Yeah. Any of those bulls are great bulls. So.
Yeah.
Should be good.
This is your first real filming on a hunt.
Yep.
How's that been?
It's been good. I've been able to learn a lot from you, and because the normal filming I'm used to is just pretty basic, and get out here and you got to deal with light, you got to deal with obviously wind for audio and stuff, and so that's a big part of it. Just learning to basically produce,
Yeah.
The production side of things is I think one of the hardest to figure out. Once you get it figured out, it makes your filming that much easier.
It's been cool. I think we have some cool footage. We've had some close encounters. We've both been at full draw on a couple of bulls.
Yep.
Just need to get the right bull in the right circumstance, a little luck.
Yeah.
Maybe pull it off.
A lot of luck. Like, I mean, yes, there's guys that are good, but, every stock you gotta have luck on your side as well. I can't.
I swear I hear elk up here behind us.
Tell where I'm hearing cow calls.
They're like right next to. It's so crazy. I feel like everywhere we look, we find elk. I mean, it's cool.
Yep.
But most people I know wouldn't last 2-3 days in here before they're like, hell no, I'm out.
It's tough hunting.
Physical grind.
Yeah, because today we packed, what did we get? We got, the last couple of days we got like 24, 25 liters of water. We were able to fill up and pack, and you have to have water, and if you're by yourself, I mean, going to get water all the time is tough.
Yeah.
And another thing too is just, it's a grind, like I said, it's a marathon. And there's a lot of guys that can do it, but there's a lot of guys that can't too, and boredom, and
today
it's a lot of effort.
Today was boring.
Yeah, today was real boring.
We got to watch a lot of bulls and stuff, but they're so far away, nothing was in play.
Yeah, and smoky, but
yeah, but I am looking forward to it. You switched bows before we went on this hunt.
I did, yeah, about 3 weeks before. So, been shooting it really good. It took me, the first week or so was not so good. I was getting frustrated because I've been using the same bow for almost 5 years and get so comfortable with it, and it's a lot longer bow, being the prime. I think it was like axle to axle is almost like 40 inches or 41 inches, where these are 34, you know, and it's just different anchor point.
It's still a long axle.
Yeah, yep, it's just different anchor point, and just feels different in the hand, but it was just weird. It was one day, like after shooting it, it just clicked, but I'd been shooting a lot, and it clicked, and I mean, just been able to since then just really feel comfortable shooting it. But so yeah, this is the Hoyt RX4, the Ultra. It's set at almost 72 pounds, and then with me, what I really like is they've got the number 2 cams on it, and with those, I'm able to max it out. So I ride at a 30-inch draw length, and so my arrows are 474 grains, and they're shooting almost 290 feet per second.
Yeah.
So, pack a punch.
Yeah, I'm right around, I have an 80-pound Ultra. My draw length is 28 and a half. And I think it's 28 right now on the Ultra. I like the string angle of it. I love this bow. Yeah. Like, it tuned right up. It shoots perfect. I shoot it really well. It's very forgiving. 80 pounds is an easy pull. You've seen me pull. Yeah. I don't even notice it. It's like I can pull it real slow, and it's tuned really well. So I just need a bull in range, man.
Yep. Yeah, that's, again, luck on our side.
Yeah.
We need it.
I've got, we got a little different setup when it comes to stabilizers. I have a back bar and a front stabilizer.
Yep.
And a tight spot quiver on the side. Balances, I'm going to come to full draw. It's just balanced perfectly. Yep. But my bow weighs about a pound heavier than yours.
Yeah, it's about almost 1.5. So,
which is a real penalty in the backcountry. But this is open country. I expect to maybe have a longer range shot. And when it's balanced like that, there's no torquing, nothing. I'm very accurate. I like that setup. But you're running that quivalizer?
Yep, I got the quivalizer by Option Archery. This is the 3rd year I've used it, and I never thought I would like it, but I really like that I can mount it just like a regular quiver on the side of the bow. But when I'm going in on my stock, and it's fairly tuned, pretty even that way.
Balanced.
But when I throw it on the front, out like a stabilizer, but it also has my arrows laid right along, I can reload quick.
Yeah.
Which, hopefully I don't have to, but I can reload quick with it. But as soon as I pull it up and draw, I mean, it's dead centered. I've been able to turn it whichever way and kind of kick out.
I was looking at your setup and I was like, man, it looks pretty efficient.
Yeah.
It looks,
I really like it. There's a couple things that, like, I wish they would change that might make it a little more durable. But for the most part, again, it's been hammered for 3 years, hard. Kind of like the black gold sight I got on my bow. That's 4 years old, and
I have the same sight.
And I really like that sight too, but mine's been hammered. It's discolored, and but it works. I have put new pins in it.
Yeah,
they were not very bright.
Well, I think the just because you work so hard to make your load light, it's a carbon bow, but then I add the weight to stabilize it. But if I did, I'm gonna try. I'd like to try that option quiver just to see how it balances. Shoot yours, see how it feels.
Right.
It's out there pretty far, and there's a lot of adjustments to make it fit just right.
Yeah. Yep. And so they have a couple different sizes. I can't remember if this is the large or the XL. Trevor about taken out by a bird. But they have different length ones, and then you can 100% adjust it, the length on it, and shorten it. You can turn it to kind of, whatever you need to adjust your bow. Yeah. And it works pretty good.
I think it would be it's a smart design, especially if you're backpacking, because you get the stabilization without adding too much weight. Right. But I will say, I'd have to see how it shoots. I think you would be making some compromises. Like, mine is perfect. Right. I mean, it just, the shot breaks and everything stays dead in the hand. I'd be curious how accurate my groups would be at 85, 90 yards with that.
And like when I shot this one, I actually did a story on Instagram when I was doing it, like a live TV or whatever, but I was shooting 80 yards with this, and I had right at about a 3.5 inch group.
Yeah.
Which, man,
that's all you need. I mean, that's great. So, yeah, I'd have to mess around with that and see how it handles, but something I've been looking at.
Yep. It took some getting used to, just because you have, like I said, I didn't know if I'd like it at first, because when I first started using it, I was just 100% running it out front. It's like when you're walking, you know, it's hard to just hold on to the string of the bow and walk, because your stabilizer and quiver are out there up front.
Right.
But now that I've got both brackets on, I can run it on the side, I can run it on the front. You know, I've really come pretty accustomed to you know, using it and running and gunning. I can leave it on the side, and then if I want to, I can stick it out the front, you know, when I'm on my stock. And and I mean, it doesn't stick out that much further than a regular stabilizer, you know, maybe a few inches, but if you have like a 16-inch stabilizer on there, it's probably longer than what this is. But
that's cool. Well, the wind's picking up. It's time to climb in the sleeping bag. The sun's gone down. It's dark, folks. I'm going to finish cooking my homemade meal. Yours is sitting there ready to eat. So.
Yep. I got homemade spaghetti and squash, and threw a little Tony seasoning in there. Yeah,
I've got... Suzanne made me a millet rice noodle thing with squash and zucchini, water chestnuts, a bunch of stuff in there. It's kind of a little...
I like doing my own meals, because you just... I mean, I eat some of Heather's and stuff, and I like her breakfast, and I like some of her meals, but at the same time, I love doing my own dehydrating, because it's something you already know you're going to love.
Yep.
You know? So.
I agree. Ryan had this breakfast scramble from Off Grid.
I've had that.
That is looked pretty good.
Yep, I've had a couple of the Off Grid,
for dinner.
And I do like them.
But I like that Heather's Choice salmon chowder. It's one of my favorites, and I did bring some African peanuts too. Oh, but it can give me some funky gas, so I'm gonna keep that for later in the week, just to postpone, you know, y'all's misery. But
yeah, we appreciate that. We're already miserable, so we don't need any more.
I don't know. There's something about my body that can convert everything I eat into gas. I don't know.
I'm the same way. I just like to not let the other guys around me have to suffer as much. Yeah. But no.
I don't know. I heard you spackle your pants a few times.
A couple times. It's hunting in the backcountry, man. Dehydrated meals. So there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And if you're not, something's wrong. Your system's not working right.
Well, technically I have 4 days of food, but I'm going to stretch it to 6. So y'all better like start fasting a little bit.
I know.
Hopefully we kill a bull and then all things change, but
tenderloin and backstraps.
We'll see what happens. All right, folks. We're going to wrap this podcast up. Thanks for tuning in. And hopefully next time we get on the show, we got a dead bull. But if not, we're going to keep doing these kind of daily shows, and hopefully you find it useful. Stay gritty.